You're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's get into our next discussion now. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, through its Chief Executive Officer, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, recently disclosed that over 2 million kilograms of drugs worth over 80 billion naira have been seized in the last 3 months by the anti-drug agency, and over 3,000 suspects arrested for various drug-related offenses. The agency has lately been making major arrests on almost daily basis of individuals attempting to ferry in or out dangerous illicit drugs. The findings has become worrisome considering the possibility that more than a few traffickers could have escaped the drug net and the large extent of illicit drug trafficking. The NDLEA Chief Executive Officer believes that 90% of criminalities in Nigeria today, ranging from banditry to insurgency, kidnapping, rape and others, have a link to the use of illicit drugs. So joining us now to discuss this is the Executive Director and Founder, African Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention, Chris Ibe. Chris, it's good to see you this morning.
Thank you, Mike.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Now, basically, let us start from the basics. We talk about these things. I remember I've hosted you several times, and even other my colleagues, where we talk about drug trafficking, illicit drugs, and all of that. Now, for the purpose of breaking these things down in simplified, can you talk to us basically what constitutes illicit drug or traffic drug, as the case may be?
Thank you once again, Mike, for having me. This is a new studio. Let me say,
it's our makeshift studio.
Yes, I really sympathize with you guys. So, based on your question, what actually constitutes illicit drugs? Drugs. They have some. They are legalized. There are some drugs that are legalized. And before you have access to them, you should have some level of approval.
Okay.
But when you have drugs that are not approved by government, or drugs that are controlled, if drugs that are controlled gets into your hand, unapproved, it becomes illicit. So for you to have these drugs, you must have approvals. The authorities must know. Are you get what I'm saying? And majorly, these drugs they are under behind-the-counter drugs. Before you have them, there must be reasons why you should have them. But by the time you have them without any form of reasons, any approval, it becomes illicit because they are controlled drugs.
All right.
Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is just it. So if you
what kind of drugs fall in this category?
We have cocaine. We have the cocaine. We have heroin. Cocaine, heroin, amphetamines, and so many others. Now we also have the opioids, some like the codeine that was just banned. Yes, the codeine that was just banned.
It became very popular.
Yes, of course. It's now illicit because if you have it, if you're operating or doing business on them, it becomes illicit because government has already banned them. You know about our tramadol.
Exactly.
These are all illicit because the government determines the drugs that are controlled, considering the effect, the harm it constitutes in the larger society.
All right. Now the point there is we like the NDLEA boss has said, often, in fact, on the news on daily basis, we see reports of people who, ingest different kind of drugs and then at the airport, trying to jet out of the country, or maybe they just came in and all of that. We also understand from reports that Nigeria is becoming a hub, for illicit drug trafficking and all of that. Why Nigeria, though? What is that special thing that makes Nigeria a hub?
Well, you must bear with me that when laws are not effective, when laws are not implemented adequately, most criminals, they kind of find loopholes. Are you get what I'm saying?
They take advantage of
right. Those inadequacies of the authorities. So that is why Nigerian market, that Nigeria has been discovered, or not even discovered, has been seen by the cartel as route, because when it moves, it's cheaper moving from Nigeria. One is corruption. Our law enforcement agencies, before now, the NDLA, that is why most people are appreciating the appointment of General Marwa, because he is a performer, and so many people, so many Nigerians, they know what he has done before, even as a military administrator in Lagos State. And also as the chairman, Presidential Advisory Committee on...
even while he was the Nigerian ambassador in South Africa.
Yes, so he's done exceptionally well. One of the major things, because they unbundle securities. The cartel unbundle securities. So the appointment of Marwa brought a whole lot of dislocation in the security system, because he brought the right people into certain places. Prior to now, the former chairman kind of personalized the drug issues, and now shrink the fight, reduce the fight. But what Marwa has done now is to open up. It's kind of a Nigerian thing. He has opened up the system. He has reached out to so many stakeholders. He has brought a fight. He has given Nigerians, said, look, if drug destroys Nigeria, all of us, we are on it. We know exactly what the insurgency is, what is happening in Nigeria now, especially insurgency, kidnapping, banditry, and stuff like that. No normal young man, no normal person will take gun, kidnap like 100 and something young people, take them inside.
So this is not just about a belief where people feel that they have a belief that they're working for a cause. It is under some kind of influences that these things happen.
Of course, definitely. Because it has its own medical, it has its own, like they will say, these are stimulants. Stimulants. It recondition your mental state, so you can carry whatever action you want to carry
without thinking of the implications.
Without thinking of the implication.
But in the long run, I wonder how dangerous this is to any individual, because we hear of some of these people who have been captured, arrested, and then the issue of reintegrating them into the society and all of that. Some people believe that these people who have done this for a long while can't just be reintegrated and everything is okay.
Yes, of course. We also believe, as a crime prevention advocate, I also believe in this particular line that you're towing. When you follow the trend of drug and substance abuse, drug use, trafficking and stuff like that across the globe, in Nigeria particularly, it was seen as an enforcement issue. Nigeria, when you ask NDLA, what have you guys done? What is the success rate? They will tell you how many people they have arrested. Yeah. But it has gone beyond that. The UNGAS in 2016 brought a new dimension to it. So many nations, now they've started looking at the mental implication. They now see that drug is a problem itself. So that is why it's not everybody that is caught with drugs that will be prosecuted. Some of them who actually use, they are meant to go some level of rehabilitation. But if you are if you are caught in the channel of distribution, it becomes a problem because you are now, you are no more a peddler. You are even those who peddles, they have little quantity.
Okay.
Little quantity. But if you are by way of drug demand supply, if you are caught within that channel, you will definitely go for prosecution.
Because your activity would have led to a lot of people, the implication and the impact on a lot of people. Now, there was a talk about the issue of marijuana, legalizing. You've heard that, of course. I wonder how that, what's the implication of that? If at all government considers that. Let
me be realistic to you. If government does consider it, some of us, we continue to carry the placard because there are better things government can do other than this. The fact remains that we are not yet in that state. We are not yet in that state yet of legalizing marijuana. If you go to the 2019 national drug use survey by the UNODC, you see that like 14 million Nigerians are using drugs.
Wow. 14 million?
Yes, of course. 14 million.
That's a large number. In fact, the population of some countries...
It's not up. The likes of Guyana, the likes of Guyana is within 500,000. So you can imagine 14 million. And the statistics, the demography, calls from 18 to around 58. But for those who are regularly, it calls from 13 to like 18 to 35, which captures captures young people. That's
a youthful age.
That is the youthful age. When you come to the youth policy, the African Charter on Youth, that is the youth age. So if our young people, we have, let's say, 10 million of our young people caught in that web, what do you think will become of this nation? What do you think will become of our productivity? You see that it is the productive minds that are going down. And that is why most young people, when they've gone into these particular drugs, activities, they got addicted, mentally deranged, they no more think right. And you see them delving. Go to our rehabilitation centers here and there, and you see young people leaving their palatial mansions and taking permanent residence there. But let me, like I was saying, that is why the issue of legalization should not come now.
It shouldn't be considered now.
It shouldn't be considered at all, because we don't have these facilities. If you go abroad, they have so many facilities that they are even ready to accommodate anything. Young people are looking for food. Then you are talking about giving them drugs. Yes, the Ondo State governor canvassed for that very well, but we said no. I don't think it's right.
Okay, let me put you on hold, and then we come back to round this off. I'd like us to talk about how we can collaborate to reduce this trend generally. We're talking with Chris Ibe here on the issue of fighting illicit drugs in Nigeria. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back on this. Stay with us now. The war against illicit drugs cannot end yet because the impact is devastating to all our societies. I have with me in the studio Chris Ibe, who has been an advocate against illicit drugs for many years, and he's been doing this. We're talking together on how to identify these things and also collaborate to eradicate illicit drugs, and even the idea of drug trafficking generally. Now, Chris, it's good to have you remain with us. Now, where do we start from when we are talking about fighting drug trafficking and the use of illicit drugs?
Yeah, it is a national issue, and we cannot leave it for NDLA or the securities alone. And that is why I'm so happy with the chairman, General Marwa. Immediately he came on board. He came up with a committee that he called multi-purpose committee, bringing all sectors on board to talk about this. And the CSOs, which our organization is part of, was also considered in that committee. That shows that he is bringing a holistic approach to the fight. For us, we do prevention. We talk about prevention advocacy, because prevention is the most viable. It's cheap. Beyond being cheap, it's harmless. Before now we talk about treatment. Governments go for treatment outside prevention, because when you bring this information to young people, because some of them believe that it's a way of life. It's a way to tell the community that, or to tell their peers that they have arrived. Especially for those who are trafficking. Some, by the time they give you the false information, how you become millionaire overnight, they will not tell you that those pills are likely to rupture in your tummy. They will not tell you that. And
how dangerous they are.
They will not tell you that you are likely not to come back. They will not tell you that. So we have taken this prevention advocacy to schools and communities, and they are buying into it. Most parents are not sleeping because they are victims. When I say victims, you see a woman who has labored to nurse a baby for 9 months, maybe after 17 years of existence, of growing and development, and you see the boy or the girl go down on drugs. How will such...
Is that a product of failure in parenting, or how do we classify that?
Yes, failure on parenting is contributory, but it's not total.
Yeah.
Because peer influence is another factor. Okay. Yeah, we've had broken homes as part of causative factors influencing this. We also have peer influence. Young people told their roots these days. For me, in most cases, I don't blame parents so much, but then they also have little of the blame, because they must know who their children moves with.
Exactly.
Beyond that, there is need for collaboration. Yeah. There is need for collaboration. We have been organizing the National Youth Summit on Crime, on Drug and Substance Abuse for the past 7 years. We have introduced the smart clubs, the healthy thinking clubs in the Nigerian school system. So we are coming up with the secondary school drug and substance abuse prevention policy. Now, because our schools, we don't have it. Even at the national level, we don't have drug and substance abuse prevention policy in our secondary schools. Immediately at the point of entry, the students and the parents, they get to understand what we are talking about.
So there has to be some level of orientation or induction into school when you're just entering?
Of course.
Okay.
Because they have modified the whole thing. You see some of them bringing codeine, bringing coke, they call it codeine diet. So any such actions takes you out from the school, or you get some level of punishment.
Now, before I let you go, there was a report recently done, and there was a focus on the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
The music, especially, the report was focusing on the music. Artists sometimes use music to paint and garnish the use of drugs and all of that. And one way, somehow, through the back door, making it like, oh, it's glamorous to use drugs. And then if you want to drive this kind of a big car or live in this kind of a house and all of that, then this can lead, making look as if these things go hand in hand. How dangerous is that?
It's very, very dangerous.
Considering also the impact of music in the minds of young people.
It's very, very dangerous. And most of our musicians don't understand this. They don't, because they feel that those contents are what pushes them up. But the censors board, the music and film video censors board, they have a whole lot of, that is why I said the issue of enforcement, we have these laws. Some musicians like the Naira Marley and most of them, you know, they have built a cult-like followership within young people. So if you don't smoke marijuana, if you are not a Malian, if you don't smoke marijuana, you are not part of what is happening in the world. But our censors board, they are responsible for all this. Those type of music are not supposed even to see the airwaves.
Yeah, we've seen a ban on some of those kind of songs sometimes, but ultimately I think maybe they have to the music icons and all of that, using them as ambassadors so that their songs can be used to transform the mind.
Yes, of course. We also have musicians who are not into these promotions.
Okay.
And one of our partners, Drug Salvation, that is Wilson Egodalo. He is into celebrities club.
Okay.
He calls it celebrities club. That club is meant to showcase to the world that it's not all celebrities.
Okay.
So they use those celebrities to talk to young people that you can become whatever you want to become without going into drugs.
And that can be very impactful.
Definitely.
Chris Ibe, Executive Director and Founder, Africa Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, Mike.
And we thank you for what you do as well.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.